Hola chicos, hoy empezamos con el presente de los verbos regulares y irregulares. The first thing that we want to review is that all verbs have a stem and a root. As you can see here, all the stems are in white and all the roots are in red. In Spanish, we have 3 different endings for our verbs, 3 different roots, AR, ER, and IR, and they usually each have their own forms of conjugations in the different tenses. Today we're going to look at just the present tense regular endings and then some of the irregularities that we see in the present tense. So here we have our chart with our 3 types of verbs, our AR, ER, and IR verbs, with our 6 subjects on the side. So starting with our AR verbs, we have the endings o, as, a, amos, ais, an. Hopefully you can remember this from the video. I'm bringing conjugations back with our AR endings, and that will be linked also on Schoology if you want to check that out to help study your AR ending verbs. Our ER ending verbs will have o, es, e, amos, eis, en. Now remember, when you are conjugating, you remove your root and replace it with one of the highlighted endings here. The ending will let you know which subject is doing the action. And finally, our IR endings are o, es, e, imos, is, en. Hopefully you've noticed that the only 2 differences between our ER and IR ending verbs in the present tense are the nosotros forms, hemos, imos, and the vosotros forms, eis, is. Now, you probably remember these if you've had me in the past. I'm bringing conjugations back. Oh, that was the AR verb, so let's conjugate some verbs. It's a song for the ER and IR endings, and it goes through the ER endings, and then it says, for IR verbs, there are 2 changes, nosotros and vosotros. Nosotros vivimos, vosotros vivís. So you can reflect back on that to help you remember as well. So here we have our 3 conjugated verbs, regular, present tense, and their endings. Now, there are obviously lots of irregulars in Spanish, and let's just look at a few with irregular yos. So that means that the rest of the verb is conjugated in the regular form. So here, ir, dar, and estar are all conjugated as regular AR verbs, except for in the yo form. In the yo form, we have voy, doy, and estoy. Those are just some of the irregular yos that you can have. Here are some other ones. Hacer, which means to do or to make, becomes hago. Poner, to put, place, or set, becomes pongo. Traer, to bring, becomes traigo. Salir, to leave, becomes salgo. Saber, to know, and that's to know information or facts. That becomes sé. Conocer, which is to know people or places, to be familiar with them, becomes conozco. Producir, to produce, becomes produzco. And conducir, which means to drive, becomes conduzco. And finally, the last irregular I want you to memorize, hopefully you already have this memorized, is ser, where the whole thing is irregular in the present tense. Soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son. And remember that ser means to be.